Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. So guys, it's happening. It is Halloween. Lady H made this great little image here. Online games in October. Raid in October. Anyway, Lydia is in the game. Lydia's in the game. Let's have a quick look at what Raid kind of pulled together for this. In the blessed days before the Elvish people were torn in twain by the great schism, there lived a sorceress of spirit, and she was fierce as she was wise. Known by a given name of Lydia, she was famed for her mastery of the arcane, and many a noble sought after, blah. You can read it, guys, on their Facebook page. There's this kind of nice little intro to Lydia. She is all about death and that type of stuff. Let's get into what she's actually like in the game. So, into Faction Wars. I know there's not going to be that many people doing this, but it's a pretty cool feeling. Faction Wars was tough to complete, even with a big roster like I've got. I've got a bunch of Faction War support guides, that type of thing. If you are close, or if you're just looking for some help on a particular faction, you can check it out. Always in my descriptions of my videos, there is this kind of tier list, which you can just click along different factions, see where I rate different champions. It's got epics, rares, and legendaries in here now. So there's some stuff that can help you out. But anyway, here's my Lydia. So they have put her in the Faction War page. I'm pleased they did that. I'm pleased they didn't just drop her in my inbox. That would have been kind of rubbish. And yeah, it would have been rubbish. So here she is. You've received her. Okay, there's not... That was a bit underwhelming. I was hoping there might be like this big pop-up, you know, like an unleash of Lydia. It turns out she's probably... Has she gone in my inbox? No, she's just gone straight into my inventory. So let's have a look at her. Where are you, Lydia? Lydia, the Death Siren. I mean, she's got a cool skin. I feel like she's got a cool skin, but her face should have just been scarier. Like, her face just feels a bit like... You know, like the mum about to go for a school pickup. She's got these nice little talons. Oh, anyway, Lydia the Death Siren. So she has got an A1, which has got, when booked, 100% chance of placing fear for one turn. Huge on an A1. Fear for one turn on an A1 is massive, especially when it's a 100% chance to land if you've got the accuracy. Also, 100% chance when booked to increase the duration of any poison sensitivity. That could be huge for Clan Boss as well. And Dragon, anywhere where you want those poisons to kind of stack out. It's got a passive as well on her A1. Attacks enemy champions with this skill whenever they place a freeze, stun, fear, or true fear on an ally. That's like a mat. So basically, she's got A1s popping off if the rest of your team is taking stuns and stuff. The number of attacks increases according to how many debuffs are placed at that time. One attack for each freeze, stun, fear, or true fear debuff placed. The first attack will attack the first attack will target the attacker, so the person who places these different debuffs, while all extra hits will just be random. So and you can only attack each enemy once. So if 3 of your team get stunned, she'll go out and she will basically place fear and increase poison sensitivity on 3 enemies. So I guess the biggest thing here is, like, if all your team are about to get frozen or stunned, what stops her from getting stunned? Like, this ability is cool as long as she's not in the firing line for being stunned. So, you know, basically, I guess what it means is if you want her to run effectively in like an arena setup, you might have to place her in immunity set, or, you know, something along those lines for this to really start to kick in, or run a like very high resistance to make sure that this is not kicking in on her. Otherwise, she can't A1 if she's frozen on the spot. Yeah, she can't A1 if she's stunned. And there's a good chance she won't A1 if she's feared as well. So there's a whole bunch of stuff here which doesn't happen unless you kind of stop it happening. Okay, so we've then got an A2. This is, for me, her signature move. attacks all enemies. When booked, 100% chance of placing decreased defense and weaken. It's a huge ability. There's only a couple in the game that do this right now on an AoE, Draco and Venus, and it's massive, massive ability. But what's better here is it also places Strengthen on herself and a speed buff on all allies for 2 turns. So if you can imagine at the moment, when you run someone like a Draco, yeah, you're getting your decreased defense and weaken out there. She's also making sure that she takes less damage and she's speeding up the rest of your team. This is huge, huge ability for any waves, any arena fight, any even stuff like Clan Boss, Faction Wars, Doom Tower when it comes. Massive, massive ability. And on a 3-turn cooldown, it is huge, guys. Huge ability, this one. We've then got an A3, attacks 1 enemy 2 times. This can be booked down to 3 turns. The first hit has got a 100% if booked chance of placing poison sensitivity for 2 turns. And this is on a 3-turn cooldown if booked. So you can basically keep this up, you know, if you speed tune for kind of like 100% of the time on Clan Boss, which is massive as well. The second hit has a 75% chance of placing block buffs, so 100%, and block cooldown steals for 2 turns. I mean, I'm just wondering where that move makes sense. So which place in the game right now, and I'm guessing Doom Tower will make more sense, but which place in the game right now does this make sense? You know, so poison sensitivity, you think about where poison is really strong right now. It's Dragon, it's Clan Boss. Now on Dragon and Clan Boss, block buffs and block cooldown steals are pointless. Maybe, I guess it's got to be aimed at Doom Tower, this move. She doesn't place poisons herself, so it's not like she's stacking up her own damage. She'd have to be alongside someone who does poison. But yeah, at the moment, this A3 combo, block buffs, block cooldown steals, both of those are really strong, by the way. They're both really strong arena abilities, and poison sensitivity is kind of like a strong dungeon stroke boss ability. So I don't feel like this fits in the game right now, but hopefully it will do when Doom Tower comes out and we see some of those bosses coming in. So that's her A3, and then she's got a passive. Now this passive is on a 9-turn cooldown, books to 7, denies enemy revive attempts. So if you're up against a Duchess, an Arbiter, whoever tries to revive, she just stops it outright. When this kicks in, stops it. This works even when she's dead. Huge. That line there is absolutely huge. Mad, in fact. If this champion is alive when an enemy revive is denied, Lydia revives all dead allies with half health and half turn meter. Gets an extra turn as well. Oh no, sorry. Grants an extra turn if there are no dead allies. So basically, if there's no dead allies, she just gets a turn. If this champion is dead when an enemy revive is denied, revives herself instead with half health and half turn meter. This skill will ignore block revives. So everything about that is pretty much awesome. Really cool. She definitely is the Void Legendary. All of her skill set is fun. It's cool. So we're going to build her out. She's an attack-based champion, and she's got a low base attack. So I'm going to build her out, do what I normally do in terms of just see, can she hit? Let's just see if she can hit as well. And we'll build her in some damage gear, and then we'll build her for pretty much every different area of the game. Try her out everywhere that I can. And yeah, see what we think. So I'm going to get leveling her up. And yeah, let's see what she works like. Okay, so we've got now level 60, fully ascended, fully booked. One thing I didn't mention earlier is that she's also got 100 resistance aura, which I think is as strong as it gets. Razin has got a big one, 90. He's got a big one, it's 90. Hers is 100. She's coming out tops. I don't think there's anyone as strong as this. So, one other tip. If you do not want to get cooldowns in the passive, and quite frankly, like a 9-turn cooldown versus a 7, chances are there's never going to be a situation where this procs twice, even at 7 turns. For you to need to deny somebody's revive attempt 7 turns later, it's just unlikely. It's unlikely that there's a situation that I can think of right now in the game where this actually happens. So if you want to try, if you want to save yourself 2 books, don't ascend her. Book her before you ascend her. So if you don't ascend her and then book her, all your books will fall elsewhere. If you ascend her first, then books can fall here. Most people that get her will probably want this skill booked as their priority, like the A2, to get you 100% drop defense and weaken. That's her signature move. And the other ones are nice to have. So like additional reduction of turns for this ability and up the chances to 100% is a nice to have. And certainly 100% chance to get these, the fears kind of kicking in is a nice to have as well, if that's what you're using her for. So, it feels like don't ascend, book first for most people. I'm going to max her out because obviously I'm doing it for showcase. So what we're going to do first then, I'm going to build her for damage and just see if she can hit. So we're going to go masteries first. Just buy these masteries up. There goes the rest of my gems. And I'm just going to go for like my standard damage dealing arena style nuke. All of our damage comes from attack. So we're going to go into Helm Smasher, probably in the way. But it's my standard type of damage deal. And we're going to go for a defensive tree secondary. And again, it's like my standard sort of style. Maybe I should have come here, thinking about it, I probably should have come here for more resistance. Because I think she will benefit from resistance as well. Probably see that better like that. But for this situation, I'm just seeing if she can hit. Just seeing if she can hit. And then I'll do a build which I think is more realistic for her after that. So this is a style for a build, can she hit? And then in terms of gearing, I'm just trying to throw as much attack as I can. She's got a low base attack, 903. She's got a massive base speed, great base defense, great base HP. So her support level stats are huge. Her damage dealing stats are not big. But some of these supports with low damage dealing stats actually do a ton of damage. Like Sinacia is a really good example. She does a ton of damage if you stack her up with attack. So we're going for attack ring with high attack rolls. I'm stealing it off of anyone I can. We're going for crit damage on the secondary piece with accuracy. Perfect. I'm going to go accuracy here because I do want her drop defense to land. Even in a damage build, I'm going to want her drop defense to land. So ideally, it comes with speed and attack percentage. That's the type of rolls I'm looking for. So this one would be good to roll up. But this one's already pretty good. This one's actually a bit better for more attack. And then we're just going to glyph that attack percentage up. And I'm going to get her into a Savage set. So Savage set, I'm going to try and just go attack percentage pretty much everywhere. So I'm going to be stealing stuff off of some of my big boy players. Attack percentage, speed, and crit rate like this. It's pretty good. That's a bit better. So you see, I go Savage Gear to try and get as much damage out as I can. So we've got crit damage with speed and crit rate on the gloves. Both good. I'll take these off of Brachus. And then up the top here, we're just looking for one more piece with a bunch of crit rate on it. I've only got like 50% crit rate right now, so we're going to go for as much crit rate as I can get. Perhaps crit rate and attack percentage together. Like this. That's a pretty juicy one. That's a ton of attack percentage there, plus a bit of speed and crit rate. I like that. But I'm way short, so what am I at? 56% crit rate. I'm going to be running Bad L as the lead for the damage test, so I'm going to get 25% more crit out of that. So I only need to get to 75% here, so I need another 20-odd% out of these two pieces. Crit rate, crit damage together. Maybe a bit of speed on it as well. And ideally in something like Cruel Gear, so it gives me even more like defense dodge. So, oh, yes please, Royal Guard, give it up. Here's where I break all the rest of my champs. I don't need any more crit rate, do I? What have I got? 72. Probably don't need any more crit rate, really, for the sake of this test. Just want a bunch more crit damage. 14. This is good. Okay, this is good. I don't need it in that set, though. I need it in this set. My accuracy is plenty. Okay, I think this is it. So what we got? Even with attack percentage boosts, I'm not looking for speed. We still hit nearly 170 speed, 72 crit rate, 241 crit damage, 3.5k attack on a base of 903. It's pretty strong. This could have done with being 60%, but it's not going to make a massive difference for us. So let's get her out there. Let's see if she can actually hit anything or any damage before we go into kind of building her probably for how she should actually be built. So this is my test arena. No doubt I'm going to get it wrong, guys. I get 18 comments per day about how somehow I got this attack phase wrong. I'm sorry in advance, guys. I'm terrible at the game. So more damage here, more damage here. He will drop defense and weaken. We've kind of got that in her anyway. But I'm going to get it out there before she does hers just to see how much it does. We get increased attack from Arbiter. Okay. So this is pretty much everything I want in terms of buffs, damage, output. So we go increase attack, poison ourselves to do more damage, drop defense and weaken, and then poison them. Poison us, sorry, for more damage. So she's got an AoE ability here. We've got an A1 here, and we've got an A3 here. Two of them are single target. So let's go with a couple of the single target ones first. So A3 then on a Apothecary. Let's slow this down. A3, double hit. Let's see what we're doing. 90 and 80. Pretty strong. Pretty damn strong, actually. So we've got a couple 100k worth of damage we got out there. Let's try and spin back around to another ability. Let's just drop a bit of turn meter over here. Do have decreased defense and weaken on everyone apart from this Tyrell. Let's just try and slow him down. Okay, so we've still got our increased attack up here. So let's try an A1 then on one of these crossbowmen. See what we do here. A1, 126k crit. It's good damage. Okay, it's not that's not mental damage, by the way, but it's pretty good. Let's see if we can get around to her A3 without being dead. Oh, she doesn't care. She's just coming back with the A1 counterattack. So let's start again. I'll just do our A3 this time straight out. It's always fun just to see these new champs. Can they hit or not? This isn't what you're going to build her for, really, but it's always good to have a little play around. Same thing again then. Poison ourselves, poison them. Decrease defense and weaken across the board. That's landed. A2 then, what's this going to do? A2, as well as buffing all of us, we do, I think that was like 120 odd K. But we get strengthen and increased speed on the whole team. That's what, so she can hit okay. She's not going to be there for damage. That's cool. It's what I expected, really. But like a reasonable level of damage for someone who's not going to do any damage. But that's not what we're going to build her for anyway. She's going to be built as an absolute tank, a unit that stays alive and gets these abilities off. I don't know if I misread it initially. I thought she just got strengthened on herself. She does it for the whole team. So this makes her super valuable for Clan Boss. Super valuable. 25% strengthen is like straight up damage mitigation. Straight up, you reduce the damage you're going to take by 25%, which is huge. Huge for Clan Boss. So anyway, I'm going to build up. I think I'm going to change the gear out now to make a more kind of standard build, dungeon build, Clan Boss build before we do the arena last. Okay, so I've changed the gear up. We've now got her in 2 sets of speed, 1 set of cruel. So we still get a little bit of ignore defense, but that's not going to be our main setup. She's mainly going to be there in the teams now as my drop defense champion, my tank, high accuracy to do her abilities, good amount of defense to stay alive, high health and high speed to make sure she goes first. I guess anyone who's kind of got her is already endgame, right? If you can beat Faction Wars already, you've already got a vast roster, and you're probably going to be running like speed runs in places. So there's no point in me showing you, the old, here she is alongside Kale and War Maiden and all that crew, because the people that play with this champion are not going to be looking for that. She is going to be out there and doing work. So, and it is possible that people that get her do not have the Dracos and the Venuses. So this is possible that someone who gets this champion will start to be using her to dramatically improve some of their kind of dungeon content. So, whereas I've been using my Draco for things like my setup for a Dragon 20 run, Draco maybe still just outright better because he's got the poisons as well. But she comes in and gives you the opportunity to at least get your kind of combos running. So you can see my sort of setup here is going to be, where is he? Where's that Kymar? There he is. So my setup here is all about drop defense and weaken, nuke the wave, reset, and go again. So I normally have a Royal Guard here. Now, it might be because you've got Lydia in the mix that this last position becomes somebody like a Tomb Lord who throws out a bunch of poisons on the dragon. Or, trying to think, Rish off the Bold, someone like that, that's just going to bring you something a little bit different. Let's just see if I've got him built. Yeah, kind of. So something like this might just work for you now to bring her in. But basically what she's doing here is she's just your setup. So she's going out, dropping defense and weaken. I did get a resist there. What have I got on her? Like 230 odd accuracy. She then does a poison sensitivity and stuff. We get the reset, drop defense. Nuke comes in from my Seer. And then on the actual dragon, she'll get the poison sensitivity up, hopefully for Tomb Lord to come in and throw his poisons out. So she kind of adds, actually, as long as you don't have if you don't have a Draco, she's the next best thing for me for doing this role, because she will bring poison sensitivity up, which means that other champions in your team can start to really do some work on something like Dragon. I guess the other thing which she's doing here, which is different from your Draco and your Venus, is she's also bringing the strength and the speed. So you don't necessarily need to bring in a different speed champion. In fact, she's basically the best one. She's also bringing extra buffs for Seer to rip off. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that she's doing which just straight out is better than a Venus for sure. A Draco in this dungeon, perhaps not, just because Draco's bringing so many poisons. I mean, if you paired her with, maybe you don't even need the reset champ, and you have a Renegade in here instead, and you have a Draco as well, perhaps. I don't know, but pretty crazy in Dragon. Is she going to be in the kind of biggest speed run teams? Maybe not. Maybe not. She's not going to come in and do better job than your kind of crazy poison exploder champs, but she does a good job. She does a good job, and she will do a good job anywhere. I guess that's the headline. This has got to be her best spot. So coming in to block the revive of the enemies has got to be one of the things to do. And let's try something a little bit crazy here, because why not? So something like Seer, Morsian Mage. I don't know if this is going to work. It's probably too much damage. We're going to try it anyway. It's probably too much damage. Just see. I'm just thinking, like, because the enemy's going to try and revive, what about if we use her to block that revive, but revive our team instead? And then that way you can just bring a whole ton of nukes in. So we're dropping the nukes here a couple of times. We're waiting really for Seer to just get her final ability back. There's a good chance you lose people in this wave. She's actually trying to kill herself as well. Everyone's killing themselves. And my question is, like, at this point here, because we're up against a revive boss, does she just pick up our team? So instead of the revive, she should, when he tries to do his revive, which is going to be the next turn, like when we get him past a certain threshold, I think she just picks our team up instead. So get the drop defense off. We got the strengthen up for reduced damage. We deny the revive back to his team, and we pick up our own team. This isn't working as kind of explosively as I thought it might. It's not working like crazy, but and obviously that only happens once every 7 turns. So it's not going to be mental. You basically, if you've got a team that you can get this working with, you might block 1 revive and pick your team up once. But it's still a pretty cool thing that you could do. Okay, then let's try something a bit more crazy, like this. So maybe she just becomes a tank that stays alive when the boss is going to do his retribution slam. I think that's probably like as strong as we're going to get her. Does that mean we're going to get a crazy speed run off? Not sure. We'll see. So Royal Guard should take these down, hopefully, or near enough. And then one by one, we can just finish these off. Get the decreased defense and weaken out. We should get a big Royal Guard slam coming in. And the question is whether we withstand the hits coming back at us. So I built quite tanky now. Our build's completely changed from what I did originally. Fears on the ads is nice, by the way. So big slam comes in. We're going to lose people. We didn't because strengthen's up. Strengthen's huge, like 25% less damage straight out. Lost 2. And again there, like instead of doing the revive early on, passive just kicked in. Passive kicked in when the boss tried to revive. So all we got was an extra turn. That part of a passive is actually kind of weak. Getting the extra turn instead of having the passive kick in is pretty weak. You want it to revive, really. Like 1 extra turn, what is that doing for us? So I don't know. Can we find a way for her to come in and be top tier meta in Ice Golem? Probably. Probably there is a team that's going to do that. I'll play around with that over the next couple of days. She certainly comes in here and adds something different, like a sense of additional survivability, and therefore you can bring in champions that are just in there to do damage. If we get to somewhere like Spider even, then all she's really doing is coming in and doing the same job of other decreased defense and weakened champions to enable fast clears. So I don't think she's really changing anything up there at all. All she is doing is giving you a bit of a fail-safe of the strengthen and the speed if something goes wrong. So sometimes in my team, my Royal Guards hit too hard, and sometimes it kind of then has to sort of spin around for another turn. So same thing, decreases defense and weaken goes out. Poisons go out. Poisons are on us. We slam hard. So we've got 4 spiders alive, which means my next Royal Guard will go. If there's only 2 alive, then I don't get that turn off. So she would give me just like a safety blanket. But she's doing the same sort of thing there as anyone else would. In Fire Knights, where I'm using a Venus right now, Venus is bringing decreased defense, weaken, AoE hits. Is she bringing anything better? Block buffs, block debuffs, doesn't matter. Block cooldown skills won't do anything. Poison sensitivity, only if you're running poison teams like someone like a Tomb Lord, I think, or a Draco, then she might improve it. I'd say she's almost identical to a Venus in this setup, apart from Venus helps me with Cupidus. So, again, Is she bringing like a meta changer here? I don't think so. I don't think so. But she's strong. So she can come in. Anyone who's doing AoE, decrease defense and weaken is just strong anywhere in the game. An additional speed and stuff probably means I don't need Lissandra, albeit Lissandra does a lot. This move I don't really get at the moment. The poison sensitivity, block cooldown skills, and block buffs. I can't think of many places in the game where that really is valid. What I will do, I'm not going to do it for this video. I'm going to build a clan boss team, which is a proper end game team, with her in the mix, and I'm going to speed tune it so that it is awesome, because I think the extra strength then coming in for your whole team is actually massive. I think it's massive, but I need to work out the speed tune of it, and that's not like a 5-minute job. So I will be doing that. There will be a video out on Clan Boss with Lydia within the next couple of days, once I've worked through and got some big brains to help me with the numbers on it. But here on Finite, she gives you like a double hit A1, which is good. She brings the decreased defense and weaken, which is good. And she speeds up your team at the same time. All of that's cool. But again, I don't think she's going to break the game anywhere that we've seen her so far. Everywhere we've seen her so far, she's doing stuff, you know, unless you don't have a Draco or a Venus, she's doing stuff that we could already do. So I guess the last place to really test her out is going to be the arena. And again, like, I don't think she's busted. I think she's cool. I think she's a cool champion with some good utility going on. But I don't think she's busted at all here, because it's not like her revive ability is on a 3-turn cooldown. You know, you've got Raglan's abilities on like a 2-turn cooldown, and you're getting revives all the time. So unless you get the job done straight away, chances are that goes on a long cooldown and it doesn't come back in time for anything. So, you know, if we were in the arena now, let's check out some arena fights. If we're facing some of the multiple revive style teams, if I can find one. I might be just a bit too low down. I'm not low, but it might be a little bit too low down to find what I'm looking for. So that you will get teams when you get towards real high-end plat, which have revive, 1 damage dealer, and then like a protection like this. Revive, got a couple here. This is good. Revive. Yes, you get quite a lot of teams, revive, which have 1, 2 revivers, 2 annoying champions. This could be a good team to face. So, 2 annoying champions, 2 revivers. Obviously, the freeze coming into me could prop my passive. So yeah, what's going through my brain right now as I'm looking at these team comps is like, what am I facing? So I'm facing someone that puts block debuffs up, Sifi as well. So you've got 2 of the meta champions put block debuffs up, which means that her A1 won't trigger. Her A1 won't do anything. Multiple revive champions means that once her revive happens once, it's gone. You know, there's no real damage dealer in this team. So this team can probably last some decent amount of time. So, and then you've got a Toolman that's just kind of annoying. Was that the right madame? Yeah, you've got a Toolman that's just annoying, proccing his freezes on us. So we'll play like this. I think you'd have to put her in immunity gear to go into this type of setup, and even then, does it work? So I go for the speed up here. Chances are at least 1 or 2 people get frozen, and it could be her as well. I've not put her in gear to stop that happening right now. So we've got 1 person frozen, so we get the A1 goes off, but it's got resisted here, so he's quite a high resistance build. Yeah, so you end up needing quite a lot of stats to really make this stuff work. So she's got frozen because I don't have her in immunity and I don't have a massive high resistance, which means that she didn't proc any of her retaliation hits. Yeah, so all of these freezes and stuff, they're basically not counting for anything for us. And yeah, look, I've not got to put into the great team here and all that sort of stuff. But unless you think about your comp really well, this is where you end up. You end up kind of, you know, not really doing anything cool. Her passive's just... Actually, that's quite interesting. So he's tried to self-revive. Her passive has just blocked it. So now her passive's now on a 7-turn cooldown because of Tormund. Tormund's just blocked my passive out. It's gone. Any of her moves right now, we've got a block buffs up, block debuffs up. So none of that's going to happen. So you see, originally you look at a kit and you think it's really broken. And it's not until you start playing some fights and you realise that a lot of her kit's quite difficult to get off in the top end of arena. Really difficult, actually. And now because her passive's on cooldown, there's no blocking that revive attempt. It's happened. We've got another 7 odd turns now before that comes back. You know, and by which point, where are we at? So, if you want to land her debuffs, you need a ton of accuracy. If you want to make sure you get you're not getting things like frozen happen to you, you need a ton of resistance. You need her to be quick to get a decreased defense and stuff off. You know, before you know it, there's a ton of stats that you need, and her passive actually is like a one-time wonder. And if you haven't killed people within that time frame, you're back to this, and pretty much I lose this fight as it is. So, not as mental as people think. Obviously, there will be situations where she is totally mental, and you'll only choose fights where it makes sense to bring her in. I do like that block revive on the Tormund thing. I do like that. And I would like the kind of single block revive attempt in a team comp like this without a Tormund. You know, if we were going in against this team, if we can survive it, probably not quick enough with the setup I've got. We'll see. So she's coming, she's taking some damage. It's kind of fine, really. It's a big hit, though. Xavier's bringing the pain. Get the drop defense and weaken out. Actually done a ton of damage there. We get another turn. Why did I get another turn there? The passive's just kicked in, so somebody tried to revive at that point. Maybe Arbiter went and I missed it. Someone just tried to revive and the passive kicked in to give me another turn. So I guess what I need to do really is try and get Fear off here so that she doesn't now revive. Got resisted. Because the next thing will happen is that she'll try and revive. So yeah, so that passive is going to be kicking in a ton. We'll finish them off anyway. And that passive, maybe that was clutch. Maybe that was a clutch moment. And, you know, we just won the fight because that passive kicked in. But it is not as foolproof as it reads. So, look, I'm going to be playing around with her a ton over the next few days. I'll be playing with her on stream as well tonight. Trying some different builds out. Trying some different team comps out. I think she's going to be a lot of fun, guys. But she's not busted as far as I can see yet. Hope you enjoyed the video. We're going to do a ton more stuff with her over the next few days. I've been Hell Hades. I'll catch you later.